Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Phillips, editor, staff writer here at patspulpit.com. Just wanted to do a little a little live stream, little instant reaction to the news this morning. And I know we're just going live here at 11:25 Eastern time. I can guarantee you by the time by the time this is over, there'll be some more news that'll break, and I'll be 2 hours behind. But good morning, Patriots Nation. Hunter Henry, the newest member of the New England Patriots, a team that is going to look a lot different than it did just a year ago. This is wild. It's absolutely wild. We talked a ton last night on the live stream with Pat Lane and Ryan Spagnoli Spags and Ryan Kieran breaking down everything that happened yesterday. Hundreds of millions of dollars in future contract value spent, addressing needs that we've all been talking about, right? It was so apparent, all these needs that they had on the offensive side of the football. And I graded it. I graded yesterday as an A, and that is because they went after and they signed the guy I in my opinion was the number one target in free agency, was Jonnu Smith. Tight end is the most important position outside of quarterback in this offense with what they want to do. We know, obviously, that's been a position that was locked down for quite a long time by the greatest to ever do it. So to see them go out and get Jonnu Smith was amazing. Literally could not find a more perfect guy for this system. A guy that Bill Belichick called, he said, if there's a better yak tight end, yards after catch tight end in the league, he hasn't seen him. And then when we all thought, Hunter Henry would be the guy that would be a primary target, considering how much Bill loves him, going all the way back to his days, I believe it was at Pulaski Academy in Arkansas. And the picture obviously floating around Twitter of him, embracing Hunter Henry with that hug. But when they signed Jonnu Smith, awesome, fantastic. In my opinion, Jonnu Smith is the more dynamic player. And then obviously they start adding other pieces: Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, and then Matt Judon, Henry Anderson. Incredible. So the assumption going into today, the rumors were out there. I know Mike Giardi was talking about and Albert Breer talking about looking into running backs, Leonard Fournette, these type of guys. But the general feeling and assumption, right, was, okay, big splash is made. Great. Fantastic. Needs addressed. Great. And then the Hunter Henry news broke. Adam Schefter reporting 3 years, $37.5 million, $25 million guaranteed. And now I feel weak in the knees. It's with what they're going to be able to do. You guys are probably hearing a lot already. 12 personnel. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be really nasty. And the reason I was so high on Jonnu Smith was because since Gronk's departure, they have not been potent out of 11 personnel. They haven't had that duplicitous force the defense to match up personnel wise to stop the running game, because because a guy like Gronk can allow you to do multiple things out of 11 personnel. He's so good in line and executing his blocking assignments that you can run and comfortably throw out of that package and really make the defense decide, well, do we want to go big or go base or go nickel against your 11 personnel? Or in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of defenses going light. When Gronk blocking in the running game on 11 personnel is a little different than Matt Lacoste, Ben Watson, Ryan Izzo. In my opinion, Ryan Izzo was, you can make an argument, one of the worst starting offensive personnel guys in the league last year. They addressed it. 2 tight ends come in the draft in day 2, Dalton Keene and Devin Asiasi. Asiasi showed a little bit of blocking chops. Obviously, we know the passing game was a disaster with those 2 last year. A lot to pick up. Tough situation for them, I understand. But you can see how pivotal the tight end position is to this offense and what they want to do. They want to be able to run the football, and they want to be able to make you match up with your bigger personnel, because we believe our bigger personnel can beat yours in the passing game, and that's going to be the matchup. It goes all the way back to 2010, right? Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski. I was looking at it today. Over the course of those 2 seasons, 2010 and 2011, I'm sure even if you drag it out to 2012, let's check it out. Number 1 in EPA per play by a very large margin. 0.194 EPA per play over the course of 2010 and 2011. Now we know they were running a ton of 12 personnel. You have a guy like Aaron Hernandez at tight end. You can do whatever you want. To Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. You can do whatever you want. You can split these guys out wide. You can Aaron Hernandez running jet sweeps, and I think we're going to see some of that this year. The Hunter Henry signing to me says, hey, he's more of your traditional inline over the middle type of guy. Now Jonnu Smith can do it all, but Jonnu Smith also has the dynamic athleticism to be able to run jet sweeps or tosses out of the backfield and screen, get involved in the screen game and the yak game. And when you can use him as your move tight end, and still get that production out of your inline guy in 12 personnel, your traditional inline guy, it's going to be a deadly combo. It really is going to be a deadly combo. And the amount of room that guys like Julian Edelman, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, and Nelson Aguilar are going to be able to operate with is going to be night and day from what we've seen over the last couple seasons. And we know 2 seasons ago in 2019, the MO was out on the Patriots offense. By the end of the year, we saw a lot of bracket coverage on Julian Edelman. You take away Jules, man coverage everywhere else, tight man coverage, bring 5, bring 4. You were going to, in the long run, win that matchup with that Patriots offense. They did not have the playmakers to hurt you. Ben Watson obviously was old. They did not have the guys to stress the seams. They did not have the ability to attack the second level. And once you were taking away Tom Brady's outlet in Julian Edelman, you were good to go from a defensive perspective. And that is no longer going to be the case. Now, again, we're talking about EPA per play, all this stuff back in 2010, 2011. Of course, you had Tom Brady. I get it. Tom Brady, we saw it. I know the Patriots fans are a big QB wins fan base. You're not going to win without quality offensive skill position players. And nowhere is that more apparent than right now in free agency when Bill Belichick and Dave Ziegler went out and brought you the 2 premier tight ends on the market, two of the top 5, 6, 7, 8 tight ends in the game. I mean, it's a really scarce position. Brought them both in, paid them both really good top of the market money. Jonnu Smith, obviously not Travis Kelce money, but top of the market free agent money. And then brought in a guy I'm head over heels with the Nelson Aguilar signing. Some people don't like the value, whatever. They have $65 million to spend. Go get a guy that can beat man press coverage on the outside. They haven't had that. Reminds me a little of Brandon Lloyd. Nasty. All right, let's get to some of your questions. Thoughts on the David Andrews situation. I don't know if there's been any updates today. I've been a little in the breeze here. I have to assume it's, and I know Spags talked about it last night, it has to be one of those situations where you let the guy go out, see what he can get on the open market, bring his offer back, see if he can match it, right? Corey Lindsay signing for I think the reported value is $62.5 million out there in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Not something obviously he's not going to get anywhere close there. I wouldn't assume, but there's some money out there for him. He's a really, really good center, and obviously coming from this winning organization, he's got the pedigree, the leadership, and he can still perform. And we know what this offense looks like when he's there and when he's not. We have some nice splits when Teddy Karras was taking over last year, right? It was a little tougher situation, or a couple years ago, excuse me. And nobody currently in-house, really. Marcus Martin, I believe, would be the guy with the most center experience in-house right now. It's a situation you could absolutely address in the draft. We talked about it last night. David Andrews himself was an undrafted free agent. I mean, these guys, they don't grow on trees, but the Patriots are the best in the business at finding the David Andrews guys, finding these guys, right? I would love to see David Andrews back. And if they do, I mean, it's let's go. But if he's got some money out there that, and an opportunity for him, couldn't be happier for the guy, right? We'll always have the parade pictures in our hearts. We'll always have the David Andrews parade pictures. I should have had those queued up. See, this is amateur hour over here. I should have had the David Andrews pictures queued up for you guys. Whenever we get David Andrews news, I'll make sure that is remedied. I apologize to you guys. Can the Pats get a deal done with Andrews? They certainly have the money. I mean, we know they have the money. There's still money available. We know the cap hits, the first year cap hits on these deals, especially with the way the Patriots traditionally structure their deals. They are pretty traditional in the sense that they'll drop you to a low first year salary, usually guarantee that salary, $1 million, $2 million, or sometimes down to the minimum. And then they'll give you a signing bonus in that first year. And that'll prorate over the course of however long your deal is. Making it, that first year cap hits you $65 million. When you hear, a bunch of 25 and 56 and whatever $1 million deals are being signed, a lot of times people will mentally just divide that by the number of years and think that's, the cap is really shrinking. Well, that's not necessarily the case. And it's very rarely the case, actually. But obviously follow Pat. If you're not following, there's no reason for you to be in this stream and then also not following Pat's Cap on Twitter at Pat's Cap. Miguel Benzon, the best in the business. But he can only tell you so much when he gets those official details and will be able to tell you where they're at from a cap space perspective. But he's careful about it because he doesn't want to be wrong. He doesn't want to lead anybody to a situation where they think their favorite team has more money than they actually do. And it's a very fluid situation. There's a lot that goes into all of this. And again, nobody better in the business than Miguel. So follow him at Pat's Cap. But the money is there if they want to bring in Andrews. I think Miguel had him pegged somewhere around $22-25 million over 3 years, something like that. That's completely doable, and I'm sure something like that is on the table for him. I'd be very shocked if we ever learned that there was not a deal waiting for David Andrews if he came back and didn't get the love on the open market that maybe he thought he would get. I think, but you know what? It's 50-50 out there. He's a quality player, but I'm not super worried about them being able to fill it because, again, the way they filled the center position in the first place with him, that is a method that they are so good at. Because we're all sitting here getting super excited. Bunch of free agents rolling in, everything's transformed. We're ready to rock and roll. The Patriots, they're adding more free agents than they normally do. This is more cap space than they normally have, but their pro personnel and college personnel, college personnel departments are still churning out their work. They're still going through the same process. They're still going to there's still going to be 5 guys in camp that'll, maybe 3 or 4 that'll have center experience or the ability to be their starting center, whether that be an undrafted free agent, a guy they get in the draft, another veteran free agent if David Andrews does go out and get more money somewhere, or if it's Andrews. But with the amount of skill on that line that they have around the center position right now, I'm not overly concerned. J-Rad reminds me of the 2017 offseason. I wonder who they grab in the first and now. That's the big question, right? Thought was, Will Duff, 21. Thoughts on what we do at 15? There's a lot of talk and a lot of chatter about, hey, look at what they're putting around the quarterback position. Cam Newton's on a 1-year deal. This has to mean that they're going to move up and get their guy, right? That's tough. It's tough to do from 15, especially when there are a lot of teams in that top 10 that I'd expect would take a quarterback. I've been operating under the assumption that it's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields off the board, 1-2 done. So if we operate under that, then you've got Zach Wilson and Trey Lance still there, and then Mac Jones. I'm not a Mac Jones guy. No, thank you. Zach Wilson, yeah, I could get down with Zach Wilson. I can definitely get down with Trey Lance, but you're going to have to jump a lot of teams to get there, and teams like Miami, who the thought you'd have to think that they're going with Tua still. I'm not even counting Miami as one of the teams that would take a quarterback, but them and then Atlanta. There's a lot of talk that they could be taking a quarterback. I'm not even counting them either. So I'm thinking both of those teams would be fielding offers for trade ups. And if I'm Carolina, I know I need to move up. I want to get past Detroit, who claims that they are, that Jared Goff's their guy, but sure. And San Francisco, they say that Jimmy G is their guy, but they have an easy way to get out of whatever they want to get out of with him. His contract was so front loaded that he doesn't have any. I believe he doesn't have any guarantees left. And they may be looking for somebody for the future. But I think it's going to be really tough to get up there. If you can with the draft capital, trade, do it. Go for it. If it's Zach Wilson or Trey Lance is their guy, go for it. Mortgage the future, whatever. But in my opinion, I don't see that happening. I see the quarterbacks going as anticipated. I see Kyle Pitts and Jalen Waddle both going before 15, and I'm not taking Devontae Smith at 15. So in that situation, let's move back. Let's get some more draft capital. Can't hurt. They have gaps to fill between 47 and 96, whatever. I'm not the big draft guy. For the draft stuff, tomorrow night, right here on the Pat's Pulpit Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope channels. I believe it's 6:30 with Ryan Kieran, Keegan, and who else? Is it Spags? Sorry, guys, I'm not the best. Not the best at this stuff, but I know tomorrow night's the drafts. Those are the guys. They do a mock draft every Wednesday night. They're great, and they're exploring all these scenarios. But for me, it's a move back into the back as far back as you can and get as much capital as you can, and keep throwing darts at the board. I think if they do move back, wide receiver is still in the cards, in my opinion. A guy like Terrace Marshall Jr. from LSU is a guy I like. I know Bateman from Minnesota is a popular guy. But move back, and then let's also start addressing areas like that front seven still. Yeah, you sign Matt Judon. You've got Davin Gottschalk, who we didn't talk about, and then Henry Anderson. And they brought back my guy, Carl Davis. Big Carl Davis guy. He's going to be a vet minimum, but I'm a big Carl Davis guy. Old school draft Twitter love. But address that front seven. Keep going there. Keep pounding. Keep pounding. And if they move up, then we're not going to have to worry about the second round stuff. Second, third round picks and what needs they're going to address through the draft, because they're not going to have any capital there. They're going to trade it all for whoever the quarterback is that they pick up, which would be nice. But I think it's going to be too hefty, and there's going to be too many suitors ahead of them. So Moving on. Teams going to small fronts. Joe yada yada. Teams going to small fronts to stop the pass. Is it going to be tough for teams to go big? Yeah, I think this is one of those times that we can probably attribute what the Patriots are doing right now to a shift, and they're trying to zig when everybody else is zagging, right? At the same time, we've seen them go light the last couple of years on defense, because stopping the run simply isn't as important as stopping the pass. But when you get gashed to the extent that the Patriots did last year, then it becomes a real problem. Yeah, I mean, yes. My answer would be that yeah, I think that's a good method for them to go with. And you look intra division, you've got teams like Miami that have traditionally they've had some trouble up front. They're bringing in Miami brings in Bernard McKinney, loses Shaq Lawson. The Patriots personnel was going to be tough for defenses to match up with regardless. But the toughest test in the division right now is, of course, in Buffalo. And, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer versus Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry is fun. That's going to be a good time. So, I'm excited, guys. This is going to be really fun. Are they going for more receivers? I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be extremely surprised if they went, big name guys at all, even tier 2 or 3 guys. I think you're probably looking now more at your your bottom end roster fillers, guys are going to be coming into camp and competing. We'll see those signings trickle in right over the next month or so. Guys like the Dontrell Inman type signings, Maurice Harris type signings. That's what I would assume, but who knows? Right. With what we've seen over the last 48 hours, nobody knows. Ryan telling me it's Pats, Dolphins, and loser likely getting Karras. I'm not sure where you heard that, Ryan, and don't spread propaganda on my stream. Thank you. I love you. Teddy Karras, sure. Fine, but sure. Respect the Cam love. Yeah, you're always going to get that from me. Oh, and that's per Cam Rolfe, Ryan? Sure it is. Ryan. Okay. Yeah, loser getting Teddy Karras. That's fine. Bring somebody else. You're going to gotta have competition at that point, right? If it's Teddy Karras or bust, then that's a hole. Gilmore and a third for OBJ. I'm good. I mean, it sounds fun. Sounds very fun. If they did it, I wouldn't be upset. But I'm good. I think it's time for a little Gilmore extension. A lot of talk about him being traded because his value of the value of his contract isn't on par with where he's at. With his ranking among the game's elite. He's still the best corner in the game. Recency bias, I think, is getting into people a little bit. They remember DK Metcalf and John Brown getting him on some double moves out of the slot this year, or whatever it may be. I don't know. But instead of worrying about getting trade value for Stephon Gilmore because his contract and he's going to want more money, give him the damn money. The guy's earned it. He's a leader. He's the best corner. He's the best defensive player in the division, in my opinion. I don't think that's remarkable to say at all. He's one of the best players in football. And why wouldn't you want the guy that can eliminate the best, all but eliminate the best pass catching threat on the other team? Yeah, extend the guy. They've got the money. Extend him. Let him retire a Patriot, right? Trade up for Trey Lance. Yes. Trade up for Trey Lance. Absolutely. Why not? I love his upside. Learn behind Cam Newton for a year, and see what you can do there. If they don't get a quarterback in this first round, I mean, then I think you're in the same boat next year, depending on how successful they are this year, which I think we're all under the assumption there's going to be some success, right? Then you're in the same boat, and you look at the crop of quarterbacks next year, which I have no idea about. not the draft guy. Again, Wednesday night. Ryan put it in the comments. Wednesday night, 6:30 mock draft show. Those are your draft guys. Throw another year, throw Cam another 1-year deal and go from there if you don't trade up for a quarterback this year. But don't settle for a Mac Jones. Don't settle for a day 2 guy to compete with Jared Stidham. Or a day 3 guy. I'm sure they'll bring somebody in along those lines if they don't end up doing the trade up. A day 3, what is it, Jamie Newman or Kellen Mond, whoever. I'm sure something like that will probably take place, or undrafted guys or whatever. But yeah, if you don't move up for the guy, if they're not confident they can get the guy that they want, push it off to next year. Nothing says you have to try to make a day 2 guy this year the guy because it's this year and oh my God, that's not how it works. Plus, I think they're going to be pretty damn good with Cam this year. We'll see. I'll have my suspicions if they're going to be quite good. Draft Kyle Pitts, go 3 tight ends. Let's do it, Ben. Let's go. Move up for Kyle Pitts. Let's go 13 personnel all day, baby. Yes. That's hot. Absolutely. Joe yada yada. Fournette or Carson? Carson. Not even close. I actually think it's funny that, with James White being a free agent, and all the talk about who the Patriots' third down back is going to be, the guys on the market that are probably your more successful pass catching backs, and your bigger name free agents are actually good receiving backs that are still kind of in that power back mold. Chris Carson is a really adept receiver for the size and power that he runs with. I love Chris Carson. I think he'd be a monster in New England, like a monster. Not looking to pay a guy though, just not. We saw Sony Michel take a huge step forward last year out of nowhere. We actually looked good. For me to say Sony Michel looked good in public to you guys, that's saying something. That means he was impressive last year. I thought he was really good. Damon Harris, obviously, really strong runner. And I'll never give up on JJ Taylor, my son. So I'm not looking to pay Chris Carson or Leonard Fournette, but if I had to pick between the two, it's Chris Carson by a mile. All right. Any more questions? All right. I don't see anything else left, guys. I'm going to get some lunch. I'm hungry, and I'm sure I've missed 10 other signings by now. We've been live for 33 minutes. Make sure you're following along. If you're in here, you're following Pat's Pulpit on Twitter. But guys, subscribe to that YouTube, that Pat's Pulpit YouTube page, because we have got some stuff in the mix that's going to be unique content coming out this year. I can't reveal too much because it's exciting. I want to build anticipation. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what a good content guy is supposed to do. Build some anticipation. So that's what I'm doing. Feel that anticipation, y'all. But we have some cool things in the works. Obviously, we're doing these streams when things are breaking. We'll be talking draft on Wednesday nights. All these things will be hitting the YouTube page as well, these streams and everything. But we have some different content that we're going to be putting out. And I'll just be blunt with you. Our goal is to be where you guys go for Patriots video content. I think what we have planned for you guys is going to be different than what you're getting anywhere else for your Patriot stuff. So I'm excited about it. We've got some cool stuff in the works with guys like Taylor Kyles, and then who you'll be seeing on the channel, and with some guests and stuff. But just some different content, not so much just all live streams and reaction based analysis to everything that's going on right now, this very second. We're not, we're going to be doing some off the news cycle stuff, a little deeper dives, and some evergreen content too. Some stuff that it's going to be fresh for a while. So we're really excited about that. So subscribe to the damn YouTube page, to the YouTube channel. I should probably keep calling it a channel since that's what it is instead of a page. Like I'm a 40-year-old. But we got a couple new comments right as I was about to sign off. Can't believe I slept today and we signed another player. Tommy, you're not allowed to sleep. Okay. That's not how it works during free agency, bud. Coffee, lots of it, or whatever you need. No sleeping. You can't possibly miss a Hunter Henry signing. Next thing you know, you're going to go to sleep. And Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be a Patriot. Guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for the comments and engaging with you guys. It's always fun. And let's go see who else the Patriots signed in the last 36 minutes. So, all right, go Patriots.